everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. So today's video, I'm going to be talking about my recent root canal and telling the story of what happened with that. So let's get started. I can't remember if I mentioned this in one of my previous videos or not, but basically recently I've had to get some dental work done. It actually started before the whole COVID thing got started, and my dentist office was closed for a few months and it was like a whole big ordeal. But that kind of put everything on hold. So then recently we kind of had to pick back up and finish the work that I had to get done. So basically, long story short, I had two teeth that needed crowns on them, basically just because they had really old fillings that I got when I was like 9 or 10, and the fillings were just really big and the fillings were going bad, so I had to get crowns. And I have a third tooth that needed a full root canal treatment and a crown as well. So I ended up getting, Maddox is jumping down. He was sitting on the windowsill. So I ended up getting the 2 crowns that I needed to get, and that was a little bit of a ordeal, but that's not what we're talking about today. So last week I went to get the third tooth treated with the root canal, and I had to go to a root canal specialist, an endodontist, and I had never done that before. In the past, I've had 2 other root canals. The 2 teeth that I had to get treated recently did not need root canals. They just needed the crown. But I did have 2 additional teeth years ago that needed root canal treatment, but they were able to do it in the dentist office. One of them was not a molar and one of them was. So I don't know like how they determine like which ones get treated in office and which ones have to go to a specialist. I don't know. But so this was my first time having to go see the specialist, and I was nervous because, you know, I had never met this person before. I really didn't know what to expect. I had never been to this office. And my general dentist had just kind of said like, here's the phone number, call them, good luck. So yeah. And normally, you know, under regular circumstances, when you call the specialist, they usually are able to see you like pretty soon, like either like later that day or the next day. But I ended up having to wait like 3 weeks because they're so backed up because of COVID, and like now that all the dentist offices are reopening, they're finally getting a chance to like do all the work that they couldn't do for those like few months. So anyway, I had to wait like 3 weeks for this appointment, and I was super skeptical about going for good reason. My gut feeling has never lied to me. It has never been wrong, and I should have known that. But I ended up going. It was last Wednesday that I went, and the doctor, she actually was super nice. The whole office staff was very friendly. Everything was very clean. I felt pretty safe being there. So basically it's a molar on the bottom right side that was getting the treatment, and she had to numb it pretty good. And as she was numbing it, my tongue, like the right side of my tongue, didn't feel right. Like it kept feeling like I was being stabbed in the tongue, like while she was numbing it. And, you know, she just said like, yeah, the shots are painful, like it'll be over in a few seconds, whatever. So once she finished the numbing shots, I thought that was it. I thought, okay, we're cool. So she started the procedure and I was completely numb. I didn't have any pain. Everything was good. But towards the end, like as she was like finishing up, and she was like kind of saying to me like, you might feel some pressure, or like you might feel a little bit of something, but let me know if you do. And I didn't, but my tongue still felt weird. Like I kept getting this weird feeling in my tongue, and I didn't think anything of it. I just, you know, like I said, I was totally numb. She finished everything up. She put the temporary filling in it and sent me on my way. So when I got home that night, and like quick backstory. So the tooth, the reason why it needed the root canal, because it had a large filling in it. The filling cracked. It ended up getting an infection, which they were able to treat with antibiotics, but it still needed the root canal anyway. So that's the backstory. So then I ended up getting home that Wednesday. I was numb for probably like 4 or 5 hours, but then as it started to wear off, the pain set in, and it was really painful, but not the tooth. The tooth was not what hurt. What hurt was like the hinge of my jaw. I do have a little bit of TMJ, and it's worse on the right hand side, so I kind of anticipated that that might happen, but the pain was like really bad. So all the numbing wore off, like all on my face and everything else, but my tongue was still numb. And it is still numb right now. It's been a week and I'm filming this a week later and my tongue is still partially numb. Basically what happened was when she was numbing it, I guess she got a little bit too close to the nerve. From my understanding, I don't think she like hit the nerve. I don't know how that works in terms of like dental terminology and all that. But I guess she got too close to it and it got really inflamed. So it caused some like temporary nerve damage. So that is why the numbing is like still happening in my tongue and all that. But anyway, so it was really, really painful. The following 2 days, like afterwards, it was extremely painful. Like the whole hinge of my jaw, like it hurt like where she gave me the injections at. And I was taking Tylenol, that didn't help. I was taking Advil, that didn't help. I was like alternating between the two, and nothing was helping. And then Sunday, it started burning. Like the whole inside of my mouth like felt like it was lit on fire. So we ended up calling the like after hours number, and we spoke to someone and she was very, very nice. And she just said, yeah, like the doctor is going to want to see you again just to kind of see what's going on. So I had to go back and be seen again at the specialist office. And that's when she confirmed like it is temporary nerve damage. And apparently it is very rare, like not rare, but like it doesn't happen that often. Like it's something that you don't have to worry about because it's like the chances of it happening are very, very slim. But she said, you know, it has improved since last Wednesday, but my tongue, like I said, is still numb right now. It's not nearly as bad. So the fact that it is showing improvement, it's not permanent. But yeah, it's been a wild ride with these teeth, and it particularly over the last week, because it's like, how does this happen to me? Like really, of all the things. And it's so crazy because this kind of stuff always happens to me. If there's anything that's like uncommon, rare, unlikely to happen, I'll get it. Like it will happen to me. If there's anything where it's like, no, there's a slim chance that this will happen, it's like guaranteed that it will happen to me. So yeah, that's my luck. But after I saw her the second time, she said, you know, it was very, very inflamed. It was like getting worse, I guess, the inflammation. So she said I needed some medicine to just help with that. So she did give me something for that, and it has helped a lot with the burning, but I'm still in pain, like at the injection site, like not the surface of the gum, but like deep down in there. I can't open my mouth all the way because it feels like my jaw is being ripped apart. So yeah, it's mostly just been a lot of soft foods, a lot of hanging out here at the house. And I guess initially the first couple of days, the reason why it was hurting was because I guess the infection had flared up again, because they gave me the antibiotics when I saw my general dentist, which was over a month ago. And because of the fact I had to wait like 3 weeks or 3.5 weeks to see the specialist, like by that point, the infection, I guess, had like started to come back. So once she did the root canal, it like irritated the whole thing and it caused the infection to come back. So I had to get antibiotics again last week. And yeah, it's just a whole big ordeal. And it's also like just unsettling to have to take all these antibiotics and all these medications because I have a history of C. diff and I have, thank you Maddox for showing your butthole to the camera. I have stomach problems, I have gastritis. So it's like not good for me to be taking all of these medications anyway, because it's really, really hard on my stomach and it's really hard to digest, you know, anything like that. And even stuff like Tylenol and the Advil, like I can only take it for like maybe a day or two before it really starts to bother my stomach. So it has just been crazy. Now he's in the clothes basket. But yeah, so that was my experience. But it's so crazy to me how like I've had some really interesting times with dental stuff, and I can totally understand why so many people are afraid to go to the dentist and how so many people have that fear. And I'm like, I don't know why I don't, because I just in general, I have bad teeth. I take very good care of my teeth, but I'm very prone to cavities, even though I brush twice a day. I do floss. I use mouthwash. Like, I don't drink any type of soda at all. I really don't eat like sticky candies or anything, you know, like overly sugary, but I just have bad teeth, unfortunately. So I've always had cavities. I've always had, you know, my teeth were crooked. I did have to have braces. But when I got my wisdom teeth out, I have a whole video on this. I woke up early in the middle of the procedure. I've had other just random, like not great experiences. Back in January, when I had to get the other 2 crowns put on, there was an infection in my gums. That was awful. I don't know how it happened. My dentist doesn't know how it happened. It just was not there. And then he did the prep for the crowns. And then literally later that night, I had this like hot burning abscess in my tooth, and it's disgusting, but it was so painful and it was awful. So that happened, and it's just like, how does this stuff happen to me? Yeah, and then now this with the root canal. So I can totally understand why people have fears of going to the dentist, because it's like, yeah, I've had some rough times, but I love going to the dentist. I don't know why. I would, you know, rather go and get it over with, instead of just ignoring my problems with my teeth, because I feel like once you start ignoring them, that's when they get way worse. So I've always been like ready to go. Like, I'm more than happy to go to the dentist if it means that I won't have to suffer in the long run. So, and that's pretty much what the case was with this tooth. Unfortunately, you know, everything with COVID happened, but we knew back in January that that tooth needed a crown. Originally, we were not planning on the root canal, but because of the fact the filling was so big and it was cracked in like 4 different places, and it just wasn't looking good. Because of the fact that the office closed and they weren't able to do it right away, that was why it ended up getting infected, and then it turned into a root canal, and it was a whole big ordeal. So basically, the moral of the story is like, don't wait. Don't put stuff off, because it will only get worse. But yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear, like as I'm talking, I do have a little bit of a lisp. Maybe I'm just like paranoid thinking about that, but it is like the whole right side of my tongue is still completely numb. So yeah, but it's getting better. So hopefully in another week or so, it should be completely back to normal, I hope. But the medicine is helping. So yeah, I just wanted to come on here and tell you guys that story, because it's like, why me? This stuff always happens to me, and I don't understand. At this point, it's like kind of comical, because like not even just with teeth, I mean just like stuff in general. Like if there's anything that there's like a rare chance that it could happen, like it's guaranteed that it will happen with me. So yeah, but anyway, I don't know what Maddox is doing back here. He's climbing in the clothes basket, but that's all I have for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Bye guys.